Just one. Share. Making good progress. Stand by for news. Waiting for the satellites to align. Ooh, that looks promising. Go ahead. Good on? Good. Okay. You can't make it any bigger? There you go. Full screen, bottom. Oops, sorry. There you go. There you go. Excellent. That works. Anyways, this past spring, a short notice opportunity presented itself in the Iowa Interstate, along with the Railroading Heritage of Midwest America, decided to host the National Railway Historical Society's 2024 Spring Conference. Now, usually these spring conferences visit some tourist railroad or whatever is available. This one was held in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, and folks were given the opportunity for a one-day trip on the Iowa Interstate, starting at the Cedar Rapids, Iowa Interstate's new office building, dispatching center, you name it, that's what they've acquired as of last October. They also took the bus down to a place called South Amana. South Amana, Iowa is where they built a brand new shop for the General Electric locomotives they picked up. And this is also where they maintain a lot of their equipment. In the picture you see here, this is the Iowa Interstate's Hawkeye business car, formerly on the Kansas City Southern. And you might see a little resemblance of how they've saved paint and utilized that paint scheme. Let's see if we can advance here. Anyways, the meeting was held on Sunday. The gentleman in the center is Tony White. He's overseeing the whole operation. Here's some of the highlights. May 6th, of course, is the big day. Iowa Interstate Railroad Henry Posner III, chairman, hosted the NRHS members on his 3-car business train from South Amana, Iowa, over to Silvis, Illinois. At Silvis, we were allowed to visit the Railroading Heritage of Midwest America, tour of the Silvis shop. Steve Somberg was kind enough to be one of the hosts and tour guides. And later on in the presentation, you'll get a glimpse of the CPKC's Canadian Pacific 2816 on its final spike steam tour that I encountered at places like LeClaire, Iowa, Davenport, Iowa, and Chillicothe, Missouri, back in May 2024. No, that's just it. I was looking and I couldn't figure a way to do that. Sorry. Because see, it doesn't show up on my screen now. See how it works? Anyways, due to technical difficulties, you'll see the right. Anyways, the Iowa Interstate is one of the few shortline railroads that heavily invested in about 12 of these ES-44AC locomotives. And when they did, they also built themselves a shop complex at South Amana costing $25 million. Now, you may say that Rock Island never needed that kind of stuff. Well, Rock Island would have loved to have this. But due to the foresight of Henry Posner, let's see if this works. It should work. Let's see. Does it work? This is supposed to be a video. No, not. Anyways, due to the foresight of Henry Posner, who acquired the defunct Rock Island Railroad in Illinois and Iowa, he's found that there's business, and he's found a prosperous operation along with other operations he's involved in using the Railroad Development Corporation umbrella. Let's see if that works. No? Want to switch mics? Okay, can you hear me now? Good. Okay, why does it move? There it is. Now it's right there. No, you got to click on the mouse. Anyways, what you should be seeing is a video, and of course, Zoom may have problems with it. The Abraham Lincoln is like a dining car with tables, formerly of the Union Pacific, and the Hawkeye, like I said, was once owned and operated by the Kansas City Southern and has been renamed to Hawkeye by the Illinois Central. One of the events that they held here was an Operation Lifesaver donation by the National Railway Historical Society to Operation Lifesaver. I'll have to move on to the next slide. Anyways, Henry Posner is the guy who wore this Iowa Interstate vest, and you can't see it too well, but on the bottom of that vest, he said it was, he labeled it complaint department. It's got quite a sense of humor. There we go. They used the back platform of the Hawkeye to do the presentation. The gentleman in the beard on the right here, Mike, he was instrumental in getting, coordinating the Iowa Interstate and the NRHS to do this excursion and tour. This is an interior view of the Hawkeye's dining room. And let's see if this works. Turn up the volume. Here we go. I guess you don't get to hear the volume.
Yeah, I'm try running it again.
Lies the Montana rail line that the Silver Mountain comes with. That's the Lake Michigan. That's the old 101 Rock Island. That's an original Rock Island street line observation. I worked for Dennis Washington for 3.5 to 4 years, and I was the car attendant on that department. It's absolutely spectacular. A little dated now, but the marble flooring in it comes out of the same quarry that Michelangelo got the stone for David. Yeah. Mrs. Washington flew to Italy to hand pick it.
Can you hear me now? So the gentleman who was talking in the business car is one of the operations manager who was another host on this trip. Okay, I see what I got to do. Slide, go to next slide. Whenever I do that. This is a better look at the South Amana locomotive and car maintenance facility. Works. Amazing thing about this railroad is they actually clean their equipment on a regular basis. The 1726 is a recently completed car from their own shops. Anyways, we got about a 100-mile trip on the Iowa Interstate ex Rock Island. What are you trying to do? Yeah, I already got it to full screen. I know, it's weird. I tried. Anyways, we were allowed to ride the back end of the business car, 5 people only. And despite Amtrak not letting you do this anymore, they ran at a nice leisurely 45 to 49 miles an hour. So, last stop was Silvis. Welcome to the railroading heritage of Midwest America. The locomotive you're looking at is the Union Pacific 5511.
Hmm.
Did that work? I have some technical difficulties, I guess. Want me to exit or what?
Try it now, see.
Hello? Is it working? You're happy?
Think so.
This is Steve Zomberg. Very involved gentleman. Of course, he's known more for the Milwaukee Road 261 project up there in the Twin Cities. And he's now the president and COO of this operation. Very knowledgeable. It's impressive what they've done to the shop, cleaned it up, installing new windows, rebuilt trackage. They even have plans to install a turntable like the Rock Island did many, many years ago. But we'll see what happens. It's totally amazing what progress these people have made in the recent years and what they're looking forward to doing in coming years. So this was a big surprise. BNSF, of all people, donated a locomotive to their operation, and it is an operating locomotive, and it's being repainted, obviously here in primer in their own paint booth. It will be repainted into war bond colors. There you go. Now people were allowed to almost wander every place they wanted in this facility. Part of this huge Silvus shop is still occupied by National Railway Equipment. They originally owned the building, but they've sold it off to Railroading Heritage of Midwest America, and eventually National Railway Equipment will vacate the facility. So the engine on the left is the Union Pacific's Challenger 3985. As you can see, everything's been removed. They've been doing tests and starting the reinstallation of hardware and equipment. It's just unbelievable what they've done. The locomotive on the right is the 5511, Baldwin, built 1923. And they say, believe it or not, the Baldwin on the right, 5511, is in better shape than they anticipated. And of course, the pleasant surprise is seeing the Centennial 6936 in their shop. 6936 has been restored to operation, and it was coupled to the Southern Pacific business car that's been repainted into the gray paint scheme. Another look at the steam locomotives. It's amazing what they've done tearing them down, the amount of work they're continuing to do on these babies. Right now, there are no public tours usually. We had to pay the NRHS to allow us to get into this operation. And of course, the money was used as a donation to the Railroading Heritage of Midwest America. If anybody's familiar with Kate Wynn, that's the lady here. She's heavily involved in this operation. Here's an outside view. This is the east side. Over here on the right, where the 9903 is located, that's the National Railway National Railway Equipment portion of the Silvis shop. Notice the passenger car in the foreground. This is a former Barnum Bailey circus car, one of the sleepers. I understand they've purchased several of those retired circus cars, and they're going to use them for parts. Another overall view of the Silvis shop. Notice the steam engine over here on the upper left. That is the Iowa Interstate's one of the QJ locomotives that runs on the Iowa Interstate. They were doing some FRA work on it. Yeah, the big project, of course, is the steam locomotives. Better look at the 6936. They were talking about doing some holiday trips this year, so it's going to be curious to see what they pull out of the Silvis shop, and if they do run some holiday trips. I would imagine between Thanksgiving timeframe and mid-December. Those plans were still underway. Well, let's skip to the CPKC's Epic Final Spike Steam Tour, which came out of Canada in late April. And of course, it's now down to Mexico and it's returning to the USA. This was at the Notch Yard near Davenport, Iowa. And if this works right, you'll get to see something. Let's see if this works. Come on. Standing by. Waiting for it to buffer up. There it goes. Here we go. No sound on this. This is at LeClaire, Iowa, along the Mississippi River on a nice rainy day. Fortunately, it was cold and rainy, so guess what? Lots of steam. Impressive 15-car train. These guys have done everything up real nice. Notice some of the cars are still labeled Kansas City Southern, but they're now painted into the Canadian Pacific Tuscan red paint scheme. There's the Southern Pacific full-length dome they've got. And on the rear was the track inspection car. Yeah, worked fine. Let's see. Okay, now this one should have sound. You have to unmute anything?
Just give it a try.
Okay, stand by. Buffering. This next segment, you should have sound, and this was taken with an iPhone. Same location. Dun, 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 dun. Here we go. Hopefully you were able to see that at home. Next slide. Yes, the weather was rather exciting, thunderstorms and rain. Here's a map of the route they took from Calgary through Moose Jaw down to Minot, North Dakota. Oh, thank you. Does that work? Over to the Twin Cities, over to the Chicago area, back to Davenport. This is the area where I was working, chasing it between Davenport and down to Kansas City, north of Chillicothe. And then down to Shreveport, through Texas. They did not stop at Houston, Laredo, and eventually down to Mexico City. And like I said, I believe the train is right now back in Laredo, Texas. At Davenport, they pulled in about a week early and did some maintenance, cleaned up the locomotive, serviced the train, little security in the yard, of course, don't cross the tracks, but it was highly visible. Then they moved on to the Kansas City area, and this is where they put the steam engine aside and allowed me to catch the F units that were providing diesel protection. This is Chillicothe. Let's see if this works. Here we go. No sound on this again. They did an impressive job running this. I was surprised at the track conditions too. So anyways, when we're here, special agents there, and he says, well, there's a little flow order here. It's going to be going 25 miles an hour. Oh, no, there wasn't. This guy was flying. Now, as they approach these trees, this is where the old Wabash Railroad changed with the previous owners. But of course, the Wabash is long gone. Most of the track is just abandoned. It's run by a short line. And in fact, the city of Chillicothe owns the portion of the Wabash in that area. That was another thing. They brought in special agents from across the system, but they were real friendly, real considerate, thoughtful, tuned me into a couple things. I don't know why we can't see this. There we go. How's that? Oh, that's just a summary. Let's see if this works. Yes, I really thank the NRHS and the Iowa Interstate for arranging all this and the railroading heritage of Midwest America for allowing us the access, unprecedented access to all this operation. In this day and age, it's highly unusual. That's your stuff. And I think that's the last slide. I don't think I can see it. That's it, folks. Thank you.
I can just take a dip here. Okay. You have anything else we want to do? Okay.
I see. I can only share that.
All right, well, there's our current events update, since this was pretty fresh. That was what, about a month ago, right, Chip?
Yeah, less than a month.
Okay. So, yeah, little shorter program tonight. I guess I could turn the light back on here. We're not planning to have a July meeting like a lot of years, with a lot of people being out of town and that type of thing. There won't be a July meeting. That was in your newsletter. So, we will let you know what we've got for August.
Want me to leave meeting?
And beyond. Anybody else have any other announcements?
Or did you already cut me off?
Quick question.
Yes.
Is the intention, Chip, to get 5511 and the challenge for running again?
Yes.
The question was, is the intention to get the steam engines 5511 and 3985 both running again? And yes, that's what they're planning on doing.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that 6936 is running.
Yes,
Right?
it's
The
operational.
Big diesel, big jack, I guess.
And the BNSF locomotive is supposedly operational too.
Yeah, the BNSF that was going to get painted. And also, I didn't mention this, but I think most people know that the big boy 4014 is going west around the end of June, and it's going to go out to California and back. I don't think it's going to the Pacific Northwest this time.
No, only
we're
to.
still looking for that, but then it'll be back in Cheyenne for 2 to 3 weeks, something like that. And then I think it's going to go east. So it's got a lot of miles planned on the big boy this summer. So stay tuned for that. And I guess that's about it. I guess we could end the Zoom call unless is there any Zoom questions? yeah, if anybody has questions on Zoom and you want to unmute yourself and ask something of Chip, you could. It's kind of a laid back crowd tonight, you know.
Too short.
Here in the studio audience, we've all had 5 margaritas and, oh, no, we're in a church. That didn't happen. Yeah, never mind.
Presentation was too short. We wanted more.
Yeah, yeah. So it doesn't look like we have any questions forthcoming. Any questions here in the house? This is your chance to grill Chip and, you know, find out everything you ever wanted to know about the Silvis shops. Chip, did you mention that was previously Rock Island shop, right? I think you did. I think so, yeah. Big, huge thing, way bigger than what we've seen on our tours of Cheyenne. You know, it's a really big facility. Chip says he thinks it's probably the largest shop currently in use, maybe in North America, something like that. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of other shops with other railroads have been taken down or shrunk a lot just to get the taxes down for the amount of real estate they cover and that type of thing. This shop in Silvis, Chip is telling us, will eventually be open to the public. It's just not at that point now. And we don't know yet if the tours will be free or if there'll be some sort of a nominal fee or nominal plus or whatever. But that's another thing we will let you know when we know. Okay, I guess that wraps us up.
Presentation was too short. We
Well,
wanted,
Yep. This is the quick one for those people that want to be in bed before dark. So,
okay.
was there somebody out there that had a question, or are they just heckling me? Yeah. Listen, it's 10 o'clock on the East Coast, so you know we did it for them. Okay, Andy, are we done with YouTube? Is that? And then I guess if there's nothing else with Zoom, we'll Zoom off too.